Welcome, I'm Anna and today we're going to talk about the Automotive Industry Energy Efficiency Information Project and a little bit how we can help your business save on energy usage and electricity costs. So today we're going to have a look at how individual industry sectors compare to the industry as a whole. We'll also have a look at the key trends and findings from our energy audits, and we'll take a look at the key recommendations from those findings and briefly touch on the use of solar energy. So a bit of background of the program for you. This program was open to industry associations and not-for-profit organisations to develop and run an energy efficiency program for small to medium enterprises with less than 200 employees. VACC's program includes a vast variety of activities, starting off with 100 energy audits for automotive businesses across 11 industry sectors. VACC caught the interest of 11 automotive industry sectors who were interested in saving on their businesses' electricity usage and costs. Of course, the rest of the industry was able to benefit from these 100 businesses, with VACC collating all the data from their audits and analysing it to create some automotive specific fact sheets as well as some guidelines on workshop fittings and equipment. Recently, VACC has also launched a website dedicated to the automotive industry on energy efficiency for this program, with great links and resources to help your business save on electricity costs. So let's start off by looking at those energy audit results. The automotive industry as a whole was found to be using approximately 110,000 kilowatts per hour per year, translating to almost $23,000 in electricity costs per year. Now, before I show you the breakdown of industry sectors, let me briefly take you through those acronyms so you know where your business sits on the graph. We start off with AADA as dealerships, ADRD, automotive dismantlers and parts recyclers, AED, automotive electrical repairers, ARD, mechanical repairers, BRD, body repairers, CVIA, commercial vehicle dealers, ERA, engine reconditioners, FIMD, farm industrial machinery dealers, MID, motorcycle dealers and repairers, SSCSD, service station convenience stores, and VTDA, tyre dealers. We'll begin with the industry average usage in terms of kilowatts per hour per year. As expected, dealerships, commercial vehicle dealers, body repairers and service station and convenience store businesses were the top 4 energy consumers in the industry, with things like lighting in showrooms, commercial fridges in service station and convenience stores, and heating and ventilation being used all the time. As you can see, dealerships and commercial vehicle dealers who operate quite similar are using almost double the industry average. So here is how it translates to costs in electricity bills. Reflecting the average usage graph previously, dealerships, commercial vehicle dealers and body repairers are paying the most in electricity bills. Surprisingly, service station and convenience store businesses were paying far less in electricity bills. In fact, they are only paying about $12,000, almost half the industry average. And this is because some service station convenience stores that were audited have implemented some great energy efficient technologies and initiatives into their business. Now let's take a look at a list of some of the biggest energy consumers in all automotive workshops as identified by the energy auditors before we discuss them in greater detail. The biggest one, with no surprises, was lighting, closely followed by heating and ventilation and air conditioning, air compressors, spray booths for body repairers, kitchen appliances and office equipment. We'll start off with lighting. Surprisingly, many businesses were still using incandescent lighting, particularly in reception areas and meeting rooms, even with rapidly improving energy efficient lighting technologies being available these days, such as fluorescents and LEDs, and at much cheaper prices to add. So if you still have incandescent lighting in your business, it's time to change. Another big issue was dirty skylights. Lots of workshops have them, but don't utilise them because they're covered with bird droppings. Have a look at cleaning them once a year. It might mean you won't need to turn your lights on during the day, particularly in summer months. Lastly, lighting being left on in rooms that aren't being used, particularly in spare parts areas, meeting rooms and even bathrooms. You can't always rely on employees to turn these off, so think about installing sensors in areas that aren't occupied throughout the day. Okay, so the next biggest energy eater is heating, ventilation and air conditioning. We all need it to be able to work comfortably, but we definitely don't need it turned on in rooms that aren't being used. Our energy auditors were surprised by the number of businesses with air conditioners and heaters being left on operating in meeting rooms that weren't being used. Further, if you have more than one heating, ventilation and air conditioning system, go back and check the thermostats and make sure they're all set at the same temperature. A lot of the audited businesses had competing HVAC systems where one system was set to operate at 23 degrees and another at 22 degrees. And of course, this means these systems are competing against each other to achieve their set temperature and ultimately using more energy than necessary. Now, it's a given that all workshops have an air compressor. Despite it being one of the most inefficient pieces of equipment, most businesses need one. So just some ways to keep on top of the electricity usage in this area is to check for leaks, whether it be listening for the leak or running some soapy water and looking for bubbles. Make it a scheduled practice, that way you're forced to check for the leak and fix it, because quite often the leak can be heard, but people tend to walk straight past it, costing more in electricity bills. Another one is to turn the air compressor off when it's not needed during the day and after hours. It's quite obvious, but if turning the air compressor off is often forgotten, a cheap and simple timer can be simply installed and set so that the air compressor isn't running after hours or on weekends. Moving on to office equipment. One of the major trends with office equipment was computers in reception areas and offices running on screensavers with animations. Despite the term being screensaver, having your computer default to screensaver mode is actually costing your business more money. So make it common practice to switch off the monitor if the person's going to be away for more than 5 minutes. Now, most businesses these days don't operate without a printer, fax machine or photocopier. One of the biggest energy inefficient issues with this is having multiple devices plugged into the electrical socket drawing electricity. If this is the case for your business, consider replacing it with a multifunction device where you only need to plug in one device. Now let's finish up with kitchen appliances. The energy auditors reported that urns and water chillers being left on overnight to be another big energy waster. This could be easily fixed by installing time switches and, like the air compressors, have them switched off after hours and on weekends. Now let's briefly look at solar energy. Solar energy, being renewable, means that it's not only a great way to save on electricity costs, but it also means that your business isn't harming the environment or contributing to global warming. Another big advantage of solar energy is that it will never run out. From our energy audits, many businesses were either looking at installing solar PV systems or had already installed them. The three commonly used panel technologies in automotive businesses were the monocrystalline, polycrystalline and thin film. Those that did have them installed were seeing great results in their electricity bills with big savings. Now let's take a look at what some other automotive businesses have been able to successfully implement in their business. For more information on today's presentation, visit www.autoenergyinfo.com.au or contact the VACC OHSE unit. I'm Anna and thanks for watching.